township from the middle of the state of Michigan, Gratiot County, not too far away from me. So I was raised by Muhammad and Jackie. So you can imagine my summers. My folks would kick me out to Egypt before school even ended because my dad really wanted me to know where he came from. And there I'd hang out with my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunts and uncles, my cousins. But my grandmother in particular my tita Sohaila, smartest, wisest person I ever met in my whole life, but she never got to go to school. She was the ninth of 14. She raised 6 kids of 8 to whom she gave birth. 2 of them died before their first birthday. When I would go to Egypt, I traveled 15 hours. And in those 15 hours, the difference in life expectancy was 10 years. Okay? And I could see it in the crow's feet, in the smiles of my aunts and uncles. I could see it in the hunchbacks. I could see it, I could hear it in the wheezing of my family members. But I didn't have to go 15 hours to travel 10 years difference in life expectancy. I could go 15 minutes from where I grew up in the city, in Oakland County, into the city of Detroit, and travel the same life expectancy gap. I wanted to be a doctor because I wanted to do something about that. Now look, when you look like me, you got a name like mine, you pray like I do, people like to come out of Twitter and tell you, oh, you must hate America. No, don't get it twisted. I love America because I had a front row seat to what America did for me. But I want America to be America for everyone. And if you love somebody, if you love someone, you always demand that it be its best. I got to go to amazing public schools. I got to go to a public university. I got my medical education paid for by a public agency. Too many children, whether you're talking about communities in like Detroit, communities in Flint or Saginaw, communities up north, too many of those kids never got those same opportunities. Now look, I wanted to be a doctor. I went off to the University of Michigan on my way. And that was the first, go blue. Look at go green here too, but as long as you don't go red, green. And on my way there was the first time somebody told me I might consider running for office. All right, it was my college graduation. And I was the valedictorian, so I got to give the student commencement speech. It was a real honor. And the only reason anybody went to go listen was because of the main speaker, a certain guy named Bill Clinton. Okay? 60,000 people in the big house. I give my speech. Clinton gives his speech. He calls me out in his speech. My dad claps for me for the first time in my whole life. And then after the speech, Clinton comes up to me. He's like, hey, why are you going to medical school? Which is not a question people ask a kid going to medical school. And I said, well, I love people, and I love science, and this is how I want to serve. And he's like, that's great, but you got a gift for communicating. Maybe someday you'll run for office. And I laughed in his face. My whole name is Abdul. It's got sounds that come out of parts of people's throats they don't know they have. It's 11 letters. And that's just the first one. There are 2 other names after that. So I told him, look, people like me don't get to run for office. And he kind of chuckled and walked away. That was 2007. The next year, I watched a guy named Barack Hussein Obama run for and win the presidency. All right? So I filed that away in my mind. I went off. I got the opportunity to go to Oxford University as a Rhodes Scholar and PhD in public health. And then I finished medical school in New York and Columbia. And I'm finally doing the thing that doctors do, which is to ask and answer 2 questions. What's wrong and how can I help? And too often I kept realizing that what was wrong had a lot less to do with all the physiology I was studying and a lot more to do with pathologies in our politics. Do you get to breathe clean air? Do you get to drink clean water? Can you walk in your community without being victimized by a neighbor or the state itself? Can you see a doctor if you get sick in the first place? And so when I graduated med school, I made a weird decision. Most of my classmates went off to residency to learn their specialties. I went into public health. I got the opportunity to rebuild Detroit's health department after it had been shut down. We rebuilt it around kids to do things like guarantee every child a free pair of glasses delivered at school within 2 weeks of a vision test. That program, since we brought it to the city of Detroit, has delivered 50,000 pairs of glasses across the state. took on some of the biggest corporate polluters in our whole state. If you were to drive south on I-75 past Detroit, past Southwest Detroit, you drive past this Marathon Petroleum refinery. You know what I'm talking about? No. It looks like a skeleton city. It's got a Pistons basketball. It's weird, big Pistons basketball. It smells like somebody farted in the car. That's Marathon Petroleum. They wanted to raise their emissions of sulfur dioxide, even though there was already too much in the air. So we worked with the local community and organized. We forced them to invest $10 million of their own money to drop their emissions when they wanted to increase them. After the flood water crisis, they kept thinking about our schools. Realized that our kids could be exposed to the lead we were hearing about very close to here. So we had every school, daycare, and Head Start tested for lead in the water. First 68 schools we tested, 19 of them tested positive for lead. We got them on a pathway to being lead-free, and I was able to work with folks like Dr. Mona, who uncovered the flood water crisis to rewrite the state's lead policy. More recently, I've been working in Wayne County, leading health, human, and veteran services. We found that our county ranked number 8 for medical debt nationwide, and that we could erase it for pennies on the dollar. So guess what we did? We erased it for pennies on the dollar. We put aside $7 million to erase up to $700 million in medical debt for 300,000 people. Life-saving anti-overdose medication, Narcan, in 100 locations and vending machines for free. We put air quality monitors all over Wayne County. Now look, I love that work. When I think about the kind of work my grandmother would have been proud of, I think she would have been proud of that work. But here's the thing about it. I'm never going to forget the day. It was almost a year ago now, it feels like 10 years ago, when the Donald Trump administration froze federal funds. Y'all remember that? Yeah. I was looking at all the line items they froze. WIC, food on the table for moms and babies, frozen. Federally qualified health centers, the last line of health care for people who don't have it, frozen. Vaccines, frozen. And just then I get a notification on my phone that after his long and storied career, our current U.S. Senator, Gary Peters, was not seeking re-election. There was going to be an open U.S. Senate seat. And I had to ask myself, where is the fight for the public's well-being now? And I think that fight has to go to the U.S. Senate. You all might remember I ran for governor. Well, I lost that race, Thank you. So many of you all supported me. I'm so grateful. I ran for governor back in 2018. And I said something at the time I think folks were. I said something. That's the real problem with our politics. So I said something at the time folks weren't quite ready to hear. All right, and that's this. Donald Trump himself is not the disease of our politics. Donald Trump is just the worst symptom of the disease of our politics. Which we then got to ask is, what then is the disease? It's the system that allows the richest, most powerful people, corporations, billionaires, to buy and sell politicians in ways that leave them rigging the system against us. Corporations get bigger, more powerful. They use their power to reduce the wages that we earn for the work that we have to do and raise the prices for the things that we have to buy. Our lives get harder. And that's why it's so hard these days. So we're running a campaign to do 3 very simple things. Number 1, we've got to get money out of politics. We've got to take on the system that tells us that corporations are people and that their money is speech. Because guess what? Ain't no corporation can tell you why they named their first kid what they named them. They can't tell you who their first kiss was because corporations are people. Corporations are corporations. And money is not speech. Because otherwise, some people got a lot more speech than others. And I'll tell you, I got a lot of speech, but I don't have a lot of money. All right? So we've got to get money out of politics. Number 2, we've got to put money back in people's pockets. So what does that mean? It means empowering people to join or form a union in every sector of our lives. It means standing with small businesses like this one that really do create the backbone of our economy. And it means finally taxing billionaires some wealth. If you tax a billionaire at 8%, you know what they're still? Billionaire. All right, I don't feel bad for you. You're still a billionaire. Your kids are going to be rich. All right? And maybe you can pay a little something so that our kids can go to good schools and walk and drive on good roads and bridges and have good health care. And then here's the thing about it. A long time ago in this country, more than 100 years ago, folks came together and realized that when corporations get too big, they get too powerful. And guess what they do? They raise prices on us. They put together a whole series of laws that are still on the books that don't really get enforced. Ask yourself why your meat is so expensive. There are 4 meat packers who control the entire industry. Guess what they do? They work with each other to raise prices, and guess what that means you can't afford? Your Thanksgiving turkey, chicken dinner, Christmas. All because they want to make more money and take it out of your pocket. And it's true in every piece of our lives. You guys are consumers energy folks here, right? Who do you think they're consuming? You. They raise the rates. It's not like your electricity is any brighter. It still goes out. What are you paying for? Think about your health care. Every year the costs go up. The time you get with your doctor goes down. What are you paying for? It's true in every part of our life. And lastly, in the richest, most powerful country in the world, medical debt shouldn't exist. You shouldn't be able to erase it because it should not happen in the first place. We've got to get about to erasing all medical debt in this country and finally making sure that people don't incur medical debt by passing Medicare for all. And while we're at it, let's make sure our seniors get care and our children get care. We can do that too. Look, I'm not supposed to run for office. I understand. My name is Abdul. You probably heard it. I'm not supposed to be able to win an election. I told the former president that when I was in college. I get it. But here's the thing about it. This campaign is not about me. It's not about my name. This campaign is about the foundational ideals on which this country was built. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all people are created equal. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. My folks took a bet on that America and on those ideals when they came here back in 1978. They believed in those things, and we are so far away from them right now. I'll tell you this, I've been up and down our state, all right? I've been to 70 different cities. 31% of all the cities in Michigan, I've been there. You name the city, I've probably been there. I've done 170 public events. No matter where I go, people use the same words to describe the same problems. You can close your eyes. You could be here in Saginaw or Escanaba or in Detroit. People talking about, I can't send my kid to a dentist. I'm so worried about whether or not I'm going to fall into debt if I go see a doctor. I don't know if my job's going to be here for me tomorrow. I don't know why they keep raising my utility rates. Those issues, doesn't matter who you are. So what this campaign is about, it's about recognizing that whether you're up north, in the middle of the state, or down south, people have the same issues. We're trying to reach across the divides they tell us we can't reach. Divides of race and faith and geography, of sexual orientation, gender identity, all the things that keep us apart, to come together to have nice things together. This is what this campaign is about. And if you believe like me that we can have nice things if we're willing to reach for them together, I hope that you will join us, become a part of this movement to take back a politics to build for the future what our kids need and deserve. My name is Abdul. I'll say it. I am running for U.S. Senate. I'm so grateful for you. I saw this hand here and then this hand over here.